Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. It is a brisk early fall morning. We hit a low last night of upper 30s. So we've got, a front move through. We've got not a cloud in the sky. Very much a post-front bluebird day. And I'm on a new lake. Probably not the best time to try a new lake, but this is a lake in my area that I've looked at on a map a bunch of times. It's just a little lake, has a little river coming into it, and it's a lot different than what I was expecting. So on the aerial photographs, I expected more of just like a normal pond type lake. It's several hundred acres, but it's not a giant lake. But I mean, I got here and it's like one giant stump field. It's no wake for a reason, apparently, and that's because there are stumps and hazards everywhere. So obviously, if we're in post-front, cooling water temperatures, lots of wood, we're going to be flipping a jig around today. This is the Picasso Lures Aaron Martin Hog Snatcher jig. So this is one that I've been tinkering with a little bit since it came out. Really like this jig. And I've also got to say, Picasso Lures, new partner of the channel. We will be working together, doing a lot of testing of baits, doing a lot of using of their baits. It's a company that I've used a lot of their products for years now. I mean, I think the first Picasso lure I actually bought was one of their spinner baits. It was a double chartreuse spinner bait years and years ago, and I was using it to pound Great Lakes smallmouth. So I've got a whole pile of those in the house. You've seen me talk about those on the channel before, but I gotta tell you, they have a ton of really cool products. This Hog Snatcher jig is absolutely phenomenal, and I'm gonna put it to work, show you a little bit, tell you a little bit about it, and try to uncover this new fishery, because this is not at all what I was expecting. I'm excited. Fishing new bodies of water is always something I love to do. So let's get with it. Enough talking, let's get to fishing. What do we got? Smallmouth. Nice one. All right. Second cast. Boy, he has got that Hog Snatcher down there. Almost 16-inch fish. Boy, that did not take long. What do we got? Largemouth. Another nice, I don't know, 15. You got snatched. God, this thing gets some good. Not a giant, but this is fun. Ooh, he stuck to my glove. Well, we have not been fishing long, and we've had several fish so far. I'm pretty impressed just from the standpoint of like, there's one. Oh, that's a good one. Well, better at least. That's a nice one. That's a good one. I was just gonna say, I haven't seen like huge size, but I mean, that's another two, maybe a little over. I mean, I feel like I've put together a pretty good pattern just based on what I've seen so far. But what I was gonna say is I'm pretty impressed you know, the average size, every fish I've caught has been, you know, 15 to probably 16.5 inches. They're not skinny, they're not fat, but they're not, you know, bad quality fish for this time of year. And like I said, I don't know anything about this lake. I just kind of got into an area that's got a little deeper water. And quickly what I found is, like, these fish are very much relating to the rock. There's little sections of rock like this. And if there's wood on it, that's definitely been a key as well. But with that super cool night, I know the river where I live has dropped like 10 degrees in the last couple of days. So I'm sure this place has done that as well, because it's not like a deep water fishery. So my guess is that, you know, the water temps are dropping. Those fish are pulling up into areas that have some of that rock, because that rock's going to hold more heat. And if you can get a little bit of wood mixed in, it's even better. So it's not been a real difficult pattern. It's like there'll be little stretches, 30, 50 feet of rock, and then it'll go sand for a while. And the rock seems to be a little deeper, seems to have, you know, that's where pretty much every fish has been. Not a crazy pattern, but a, you know, a fun one. It makes it a lot easier to fish. Now I still am fishing some of everything in between to make sure that I'm right, but like, here comes a nice big rock right here. Like, I'll pretty much guarantee that that's gonna have a fish on it. Like, that just looks really good. It's got a giant stump hanging out on the end of it too. Well, let's see. We're gonna work our way up here. Hopefully I'm right. I'd really like to see a really big fish. Like a 4+ pounder would give me pretty good confidence that this place is a pretty good fishery. You know, it's not unusual to run into some lakes that have pretty good numbers, but have, you know, I don't want to say they're stunted, but they just top out at like, you know, 2.5 pounds or whatever. It might be an occasional big fish mixed in, but like right now, that's the only thing that concerns me, being that the fish that I've seen are all almost identical. You know, we've had, I don't even know, 3 or 4 largemouth, 1 smallmouth, and they've all been almost like cookie cutters. So, well, that was a bad pitch. This almost feels like Canadian Shield Lake, big flat rock like that. Feel like you're gonna make a fool of me. Oh. Oh. Do I still got him? Oh, that was a fish. Ah. Maybe I still got him pinned down there. Probably not. Nope. Nope. Definite bite though. Ooh, that's a better one. Ooh. All right. They like those underhanging bushes. That is definitely, if you can find an underhanging bush on a little rockier bank, it seems like they will bite that bait. They will bite this jig. Well, I just talked to a local guy fishing from the area. Said he fishes the lake a lot and he catches some big ones. So that's good to hear. Although he did say he wasn't catching anything today and he was going down the bank throwing a Texas rig. I told him to put a jig on. I don't know if that is 100% the difference or not. Looked like he was pretty competent with what he was doing, but I feel like we're getting bit everywhere, so I find it hard to believe that he's not getting bit on a Texas rig. But I will tell you, cold front days, fall days, jigs, jigs, jigs. So I don't know, maybe that's a different. I'm more excited. I'm more excited that there's some big ones supposedly. He said 4+s. I mean, I've gotten to the point where I don't really care if I'm fishing behind people or not. So that's kind of what we're doing now after bumping into him. We'll see. He was throwing a Texas rig, we're throwing a jig. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the jig here. So this is the, let me clean it up for you, Picasso Lures Aaron Martin's Hog Snatcher. It's their flippin' pitchin' jig. It's kind of an all-purpose jig in that it's got a little bit more compact design. It's got a head that can be used for anything from flipping trees and wood to grass. Very kind of aerodynamic design when you've got the recessed hook eye there, which does a really good job at just allowing your bait to come through cover. Another really cool thing about it is this right here, and this is a feature that Picasso uses. This is a titanium weed guard, so it's 4 bristles of titanium, and then they have like little dabs of epoxy on the end. So what that does is it keeps them spread out a little bit, so when you get a bite, that just slides right down and through the hook point. You don't ever have any issues with respect to missing fish because of your weed guard. I love that. It also does a great job of just always coming right back into position, because after all, it is titanium. So it's a really good refined jig. Their skirts are premium skirts, made in the USA jigs. Definitely a high caliber jig that I've been playing now with for all year. You know, a lot of you know that I was dropped from the Dirty Jigs team earlier this year, and that gave me the opportunity to explore a whole bunch of new companies, and I got a ton of feedback telling me I really had to play around with Picasso baits and Picasso lures. And I definitely did that. I mean, I was pretty familiar with a lot of their stuff to begin with, but I can't say, like, I had never used the Hog Snatcher. I haven't used a bunch of the other jigs, the Dock Rocket, things like that, until this spring. And now I've been playing around with them, and I absolutely love the quality. And I love, it's just, there's a lot of cool little details that you don't necessarily see in a lot of standard, just kind of basic jigs, you know, the similar type design. Picasso does a really good job at designing everything in-house in their US facilities. They have total control. Terry and Dan do a great job with respect to just the design work and coming up with products that are, you know, it's a jig, but it's got some cool little features to it that definitely make it different and worth playing around with. The titanium weed guard is something that I've fallen in love with. They've got a whole bunch of products that have it. I've talked about it before on things like the Smart Mouth and things like that, but just very, very well thought out. I don't know how time intensive that is to do it. I hope they've got a machine that dips them all one by one, but if they've got, ooh, that was a bass, just chased it out. See, I should have killed it. I always tell you guys, when you're reeling it in, you got to kill it right by the boat. And I didn't do it. Had I done it there, I would have caught that guy. Dang it, another 2-pounder. Anyways, the point here is I've been really impressed all year with it, and it's just one of those jigs that it just seems to get bit. Like, there's a handful of jigs out there that just seem to get bit. Like, I don't know what it is about them, but this is one of those that really falls into that category. So when I come to a new lake like this, it's always nice to have your confidence baits in your hand, so that you really makes you feel like you are fishing the right baits and really discovering the lake as you should be. This looks like a good stretch here, just a nice rock stretch, which seems like that's been really the key the whole time. There's a nice lip, you know. I believe the water's down. I mean, we've been in a drought all year. Every lake in the area is down, and it looks like this one's down about a foot or so. And it really, this area comes off and then drops down into, you know, I don't know, 6-7 foot, and it seems like that's where a lot of those fish are. You know, if there's a piece of cover that's right up there, great. But if there's a you know, limb or something that's out, that's where it seems like the fish are really have been more around. Well, that's what I've got right now. I don't know that I've ever pulled a jig up. Let's see what he looks like. Ow! Ow, 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 ow. He was biting, pinching me. Brown, little bit. These are almost a little bit of blue. He's a meanie. All right, let's get you back. Smallmouth. Nice one. That's a good one. Might be big fish of the day so far. Yeah, 2.5. Just under. Nice one. Shredded. He had me around that log. Retie. Feels good. That's a good one. Whoa, that's a 3-pounder. Chunky too. Hog snatched. Right in the top, right where you want it. Nice, healthy fish. All right, guys. Well, on that note, I think I'm gonna end it there. I think you've seen the power of a good jig on a cold front, fall day, bluebird sky day. Give yourself a try of the Hog Snatcher by Picasso. Get yourself some good old Meaty chunks, Berkeley Power Bait Meaty chunks, sapphire blue, good to go. Just an easy, fun way to catch a few bass. I like this lake. We might come back here.